that the?
Well, yeah, it's
Sure.
it's Conor McGregor, dude.
I don't know who that is.
He's a UFC fighter
You know,
and a real freaking personality too.
I thought that the guy walking out was like the owner of the WWE or F or whatever it is.
Oh no, that's McMahon.
McMahon, yeah.
What?
Was I thinking of a different? What?
I'm trying to figure out what frequency you're on. I'm talking about UFC fighters, and you brought in WWE.
Yeah, well, when Scott went like, there's a specific like GIF out there of like a guy walking down like WWE style.
I have no idea. I just know that
Oh.
Conor McGregor is
Okay.
like I said, he's a fighter and a real fucking personality. That dude is a force of nature.
He also has a silly walk.
Yeah. It's usually just chest out, wobble wobble.
Wobble wobble.
It's the only way I can describe it.
I like it.
Agreed. All right. Just as, because we're, again, trying something slightly new, let's just make sure that everybody can hear everything, that we're all there. Can you test that out, someone? Anyone?
I heard that.
Yep, that worked. I can hear myself.
Okay, well, and as long as we can hear me, the music, and all that stuff, I think we're good. It's probably the least...
I couldn't hear the music, but that was because of this music here I could hear. So maybe someone else can check if there's music.
There's music. It's definitely registering.
Oh Lord!
Oh, good God.
Okay.
Let's not do that again.
That was fun. Anyways,
Last time on Shadows.
some weird shit happened. Continue. Anyway.
Let's see. I think a lot of what happened last time was that we had what's the word I'm looking for? We had a long conversation with Glass, and he basically said hello, and told us
Investigate 3 individuals.
Yep. Investigate some folks, and
Then
we started doing that, and then
you got a new contract.
And we got a tail.
yeah, but the tail wasn't after you guys. It sounds like it was after the guy
Right.
who came to my office.
That's correct.
Yeah, and Bill was able to damage it.
Just
and it
look
ran
back to
away.
the gifts to see what the context was.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, you just have to scroll up.
And you see Bill doing the sword
Yeah.
stuff.
Not
and
that.
Then,
Yeah.
and then the big hole, the person-shaped hole.
This hole's made for me.
Oh my god. This is really funny.
Every hole's the goal.
I didn't realize that you were a Navy man.
I heard
Yeah.
that in Echo.
So I feel like I'm quiet on the broadcast.
You sound fine here.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you're coming through because it's different in this case because it's recording everybody at the same volume as it comes through my computer.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe I just need to talk more projected.
Well, I mean, through the program, you sound fine to me.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, yeah, so we have some interesting... We have a new client for Hugh Man. And, oh my god. Yeah. That's... The dude's personality cannot be beat. I don't know what his thing is, but... He's just so fucking in it to win it all the time.
I'm tempted to post the broken bone gif, though.
Because, you really can't fire a gun if, your trigger finger and your thumb are broken. I mean, technically, you can hold the gun, but you're not really going to be able to fire it.
You ain't wrong.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and so I think we left off after we kind of like got together after Bill chased off that dude.
Well, yeah, he left, but yeah, you guys are trying to figure that out thanks to the 2 encounter purchases that were done mid-play.
Oh yeah, I just saw McGregor break his leg. Gift. Nope, don't want to share that one.
I don't want that either. Don't put that evil on me. Yeah, I like this music that you just changed to.
Mm-hmm.
Can someone lend me 2,000 IP in Steam? I'm just saying.
2000 IP? Good lord.
That's all I
What do you
need.
need for 2,000? Unlock
What
a
would you do with
random sub?
2000?
Or are you close to a 20?
Yeah.
Oh no. I don't think we can gift IP.
No,
I
it
don't,
just
I don't
accrues
think
on
we
its
can do
own.
that. Yeah.
Well, at least you know it's coming.
Well, we gotta have ourselves a heavy hitter in some capacity
Okay.
again.
But so I spent my IP, like in-game IP,
Yeah.
and I hit a minor milestone. Last session was 45 for me.
Oh, true.
I
Nice.
hit a minor milestone. So I spent it on the last minor milestone that we had for me, which was skilled. So I got 5 skill points that I just put them straight in, and I tried to not put them in like redundant skills that will be going away. Like
Yeah, do some of that. Yeah.
And
I
I
even put
threw
skills in e-security and basic security, both or something.
and then I threw IPN to get 2 levels of hard to kill, which raised my health level to 8.
Oh, gross.
Oh,
I
right.
love
That's
that.
right. I remember that you picked that out when
Yeah.
after we stopped it last time.
So,
Now
I
you're harder
spent
to kill.
I spent my hard-earned IP on essentially boosting my character.
Yeah, yeah.
Boosto.
So just to kind of give people a concept of how we spend experience points,
Yeah.
either in skills
That's one way to do it.
or in my case, I boosted health levels. Yeah. So ultimately, we have a new contract for Hugh.
Hmm.
We're able to determine that one of the individuals. Let me scroll up to the names again because I didn't record it.
Well, the names of
So
the
Emma
one that
Carth was determined as a suburbanite young child who has
15-year-old girl.
no 15-year-old girl has no footprint, and that would register as that way. Zachary Falhurst, which has a signature, but he's kind of clean, and then Violet De La Rosa, who is,
she's infamous.
yes, for lack of better terms, is very, very infamous. And then I believe Danny was able to research, so was Hugh, at least Emma. We haven't really done anything with Zachary,
No, yeah.
and we have had a cursory glance of Violet Del Rosa.
Well, and Emma was point of
was-
interest for everyone, specifically Hugh, because of the fact that she just stood out as being so damn normal.
Right.
Yeah.
For someone that like supposedly is going to help us save us. It's weird that this one person is like. That was what he was thinking. And I think the contract I got was also trying to find people, right?
Trying to find technology. Well, trying to deal with a situation where they needed
Let me
technology.
pull up my notes here. Let's see.
So let's reconfirm what your contract wanted and see how that balances.
Well, we know that you're going to be paid $5,000 for your troubles, at least at the start.
Oh, looks like my notes got lost. Well, that's fine.
Since we've like shaken the digital tracking and tracing and all that stuff. Are we back to like being connected to our IDs and everything again?
Yes.
Yeah, the hacker who was like following us like stopped.
Well, he stopped shortly after you guys had like finished out the last major like serious purchase, right before the whole thing with the unseen court itself, and that segregated justice system that they have from the human world.
So I'm back to having access to my bank account.
You're quite
What there is left
sizable.
of it, yes. For certain.
Oh, that's right. What we were trying to find is it does some kind of speed enhancement, is what they had said. My client. That's what I wrote down.
Well, and you know, if you, I mean, you could probably roll for it, but you know, there's a good chance that if you think about the last session and how things went, you might actually have an idea of what he's talking about.
The guy who ran away from us, super fucking fast.
Yeah, whatever that situation was. Hey,
That situation.
there's a long time no see right there. Holy crap.
Oh, it's Grayley.
Yeah.
Ooh, Grayla redeemed an easy encounter.
Ooh.
Oh my.
Oh.
I can never not think of George Takei. Oh my.
Ooh. And they got a shout out as well. My gosh. Yeah.
Shout out.
Well, this was a week ago, but I mean, like, I was just sitting there like, because my activity logs have been borked and a few other things, technologically speaking. So.
Ooh, Grayley's getting fiber too.
Oh,
Thief
nice,
just got
yeah.
Fiber recently,
I did just get fiber, in fact.
and it's immaculate.
I'm going to position myself like this for a minute.
Yeah, I like it.
Decision.
Well, this way the chat can go and it doesn't get in anybody's face. God, I love this stuff. Fiber's the
Okay,
shit.
So do we have a lead?
I hadn't like we'd kind of hustled the guy. So he told me what we were trying to find. The altercation went down, and then like I think we ended right then. Like
And then we
after
were
that.
gonna leave
Yeah.
the facility. So Malcolm just kind of looks at the group as he walks back in and says, "All right, here. You said your business.
Say again.
Have you settled your business?"
Oh, honest to God, I didn't understand what you said. He's still here, right? Is he still like behind us? We were protecting him.
Well, yeah, he's still in the office with his clean
Your
cut suit,
client?
all of
Yeah.
that.
He'll turn around and is like, okay, so why don't you send me any details you have, and I'll get back to you. And I'll check in every day.
Oh, he's just like, okay, well, I mean, I've got no worries now, especially given my recent observations, so best of luck. He's like, on that slate, you're going to find everything you'll need to be able to contact me.
Excellent.
All right, fantastic. We're leaving.
I mean, I guess
Me
that was
too.
a good way to show our capabilities
Yeah,
right away.
like good advertisements. I should have that actually like a fake, like have an actor come in and like and we'll
Yeah.
fight him off.
Well, there it is.
You that would be too disingenuous for you.
No, for Q, yeah. I was talking like if I was running it.
Oh yeah.
So, since your new client decides he's going to leave, and yes, it does have all the information on the slate that he left you behind, so you can basically just kind of keep that. These are smaller, like, these kinds of slates are kind of smaller. They're almost like, I don't know, they're probably going to be equivalently priced to something like a stack of sticky notes or anything else. They're super cheap, do very simple things, but they retain information at high enough quantities in the text and picture format that you can do a lot with them despite that. But it's basically just a small, device that you can carry around. It's easy. When you leave your office building, there's no sign of the original assailant. However, there are definite scuff marks going from the stairway down. You can see that the door where it used to climb up the stairwell is damaged from the inside out, as it had apparently smashed through it to get down to street level. Unintelligible. Oh, that stupid gif, man.
Scott is broke.
It's broke.
It's bouquet.
So, what's the next move that everybody's going to undertake now that this whole situation has been put under control for the time being? Your client leaves rather fast on a jumper.
Well, I think the first thing I'm going to do is study the information he gave me.
Yeah.
And as he's studying on his tablet or like his smart brace, Malcolm's kind of grabbing him by the shoulder and like pulling him from the room, saying, "Now, Hugh, you can do your research, but we are going to walk in this direction."
Oh yeah.
And he's like,
has half of mine.
because he's literally got him by the shoulder, like reaching over him and guiding Hugh out of the building.
Well, I mean, you guys are down in the lobby, so it's not going to be that hard to get him out.
Yeah.
And he just kind of looks at Barnaby and says, "Barnaby, do you agree?"
To getting him out of the building?
All of us. As he's just continuing to usher him through.
We should probably
I don't know where we're going or what the actual plan is. Are we intending to hunt? Who are we going for?
Place of safety, sanctuary, not
Yeah.
where strange mechanical machinations
machinations.
barge in uninvited.
That's anywhere, that's everywhere. There is no such thing as a safe place. He just kind of it's like, Hugh, do you have somebody in mind or what? What's going on?
I just need to study this. Like he needs to read the thing. Like,
Right. And he's like,
I don't care where I do it.
He's like, does that deal with the guy we just met, or are we going to be going after one of these three? What's the deal? Just trying to understand what you're doing.
Yeah, I got a new job. This guy needs us to find something that's for speed.
Okay, here, wait, I have an idea. Let me research it, because I'm like your assistant.
And we focus on preserving the integrity of the universe and not all dying.
Oh yeah, I guess.
In a safe location. Now, would one of you mind doing the thing? And he just takes his hand from your shoulder, like wiggles his fingers in front of like the smart brace and says, "And getting us a ride back."
Still have no idea where we're going. Which one of the three are we going to go after anyway? And Barnaby's just asking everybody.
Well, I think we need to put our feelers out for Violet, because she's too... We don't have an inn for her. The other two were like street level. We could just swoop in and see them.
We'll need to think a little bit harder for Emma though, because we can't be interrogating a little girl.
How old is she?
15.
We don't have to integrate. We don't
Integrate.
have to.
We
don't
jump
have
street this.
We don't have to interrogate her, Hugh.
I'm 16.
She's honestly the safest alternative based off of De La Rosa's reputation and Zachary, who's questionable at best. We don't have to speak to her. We can merely observe.
Well,
And
that's
I
not
can
gonna
do it
go
without
well.
being creepy, because I'm not like a creepy old person. Or
Because they're
you.
relatively the same age.
Yeah.
Well, let's just start
so maybe
somewhere,
instead-
because I figure that probably speed is going to help us out here.
Well, we
And
still have one
maybe-
more person we should investigate before
And then-
we do that.
And then Hugh just sees a twinkle in Malcolm's eyes as he goes, and maybe we can make Donnie's mother happy by getting Donnie a girlfriend.
Oh, what? No.
Gross. No,
Oh, I'm sorry. Betrothed.
I am 16 and I have my whole life ahead of me.
I was
that would be
married.
weird.
A land
goes-
pact with Italy or something like they did in your time.
It's like, I was married at 14. What's your point?
Well,
What's
for
the name
any-
of the last person?
English coming after me.
What was the name of the last person that we were gonna that we were told to investigate?
it was in the chat. You'd have to look it up.
It is, we have Violet Del Rosa, Emma Carth, and Zachary Falhurst.
So we haven't looked up Zachary yet. Because I remember that you guys looked up Violet and found out her history, and Hugh looked up Emma and found out where she was. So Zachary's the last one. So
Well,
we should-
Zachary was looked up to some extent, but he had an odd signature, i.e., the lack thereof. And that was questionable.
He
yeah,
seemed too
well, I mean,
clean, in other words.
Too clean.
Yeah. So I feel like if we're gonna look up anybody, someone should go with Danny and make sure that he stays safe. And then someone else can go talk to Zachary because both of us being here is not needed. For all of us. There's 4 of us here right now.
Yeah,
right?
Barnaby can go to see Emma.
With you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Sure.
So Malcolm and I will go check out Zachary.
He's like, okay. Good luck then.
Good
And
luck.
Malcolm just looks at Danny. And remember, always extend all due courtesy
Oh, I'm not trying to creep
Hey.
her out.
when courting. And then he smiles and walks away.
Whenever Malcolm gets out of outside of earshot, he's just like, okay, even for me, that's a little weird. Come on, let's get this over with.
Right? Yeah, no problem. Okay. So what did we actually get the information from Hugh?
We kind of have an understanding as to where she might be given his research, so I figured that I would just put you in an area that would be good enough for a plant, and then, I don't know, let you work your magic. Figuratively.
Literally.
Figuratively.
I like that someone said literally and someone else said figuratively. At the same time. That's how it came through to me.
Yeah. Well, so you guys hop into a vehicle. Let's see here. So Barnaby.
Yeah, I didn't call a vehicle for you guys. Just
Yeah.
for us.
Well, yeah. Why
Uh,
I mean, Hugh would obviously call up a vehicle for himself. And Malcolm. Just
So
like normal.
Barnaby and Danny will be even. Odd will be the other group. So we're starting off with Danny and Barnaby, as it turns out.
As it turns out.
Yes, indeed. All right.
Right.
Let's split up, gang. Good God. It's just never ending.
Don't see suspicious.
All right, so we take ourselves out. We just get ourselves a taxi so that we can get to where we're going here. The jumper gets us pretty close to where we're supposed to be. Mind you, she's more into the central part of the New York sector, of course, and just means that you're going to be putting a lot of the bigger buildings behind you for the most part and getting into the more, well, closer to something like suburbia that exists around here. There is a great deal more greenery in these areas. You happen to notice, at least since you've been flying back and forth from this present safe house to where you were. When you touch down, you're in this dense but more open kind of like community where the city kind of tampers down into 10 and 12-story buildings. There's a lot more greenery around, including on the sidewalks. It has a tendency to be much wider in the road, but this is the sort of like, if you could even consider it, sort of a middle-class-esque type neighborhood, which is where she seems to be. And it only takes a little while. Now, if I'm not mistaken, time of day would still be around in the late afternoon-ish, if anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're kind of like right at that perfect time, since it's midweek, and it's that time of day that you might be able to catch things through. Let's just have you guys do a couple of investigation checks on foot, and see if you guys can figure out where you need to be and where you might be able to cross paths in a successful way.
I'm gonna not bump into her and have her drop her toast.
What on earth do you mean by that?
It's like a normal anime trope. Like the girl main character is late for her late for school, and so she has a toast out, and then she turns the corner and bumps into the love interest.
I mean, I've seen books, but not toast. Well, that's not a bad investigation
They're
at all.
toast in the mouth as they're running out the door.
Yeah.
They perpetually don't have enough time to eat. So I got a 19 in my investigation.
Yes, and you managed to kind of get zeroed in.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay.
So I'll make a second investigation at a 12.
Okay.
And 12.
So when you're like moving through, you get to a point where things kind of open up a little bit further, where the buildings kind of stretch out, and then you have areas that are like parks and so on. Let's just see if she's even visible. Holy crap. Okay.
And I have a visual, like I know what she looks like.
Yeah.
Right? Because
You've
we
got
looked
social
that
media that
information
helped you
up.
out, so yeah, you know what she looks like. She's
Yeah.
probably around, well, somewhere maybe 5'2", 5'3", with blonde hair that goes down to about the shoulder. It looks like maybe it was dyed, but it's that sort of brown and blonde sort of mixed coloring that you can get with this. She looks a little cleaner than most in terms of not being all that punky, but you know, good clothes, good shoes, and generally speaking would have a backpack. She happens to be out amidst a crowd of other girls just hanging around one of these parks. And like I said, it's mid to late afternoon, so it's not like it's super dangerous around here right yet. But as night falls, everybody will be clearing out, but you actually happen to catch her maybe a half a block down the way towards one of these sort of larger industrialized parks.
Okay. I want to do an etiquette check
Yeah.
because I've been hanging out with a very different crowd. I need to like code switch to speaking, affluent teen again.
Speak in the street.
Yeah.
Danny's social awkwardness is going to play through on this one. This is going to be great.
Angelo is letting me know that we are very hard to hear. D is easy to hear, but apparently everyone else is not. So whatever. I know that you're recording the sound out of your PC, so I guess just turn us up, D.
I don't know how. I don't think there's a way to do that.
You gain or
Yeah.
something.
I could turn myself up on my microphone, but I don't know if that's.
Well, that wouldn't. It's what D
So
hears.
if
is
I
what
turn
I
up the
hear.
volume for the desktop audio, it starts to peak really bad if you guys start talking.
Okay.
So you can start talking
apparently
now and
that's
see if
better.
that has any difference to it. But
Well,
all right.
Angelo said that was better. Whatever you did. Well, she's in the chat right there.
Yeah.
Oh, she can hear the music too. Yay!
All right.
Apparently
Yeah,
there
there
music.
was. It was subtle. We could hear it.
There was
Okay,
music?
so 22 on etiquette. And so I'm
God
hoping
dang.
that that's enough to kind of let Danny, like I said, he's been not doing normal life for
Mhm.
a while, and he's been hanging out with Hugh and Malcolm.
Yeah.
They're cool uncles, but it's not the same as when you're with your peers. So
As he hears Malcolm's voice, almost sounding in his head. Now, when you approach the lass, you reach with all due courtesy. Take a
Give her a
posture.
pistol.
Approach her with all intentions of good, gentle.
And scene.
So I'm just gonna. Okay, Barnaby, just hang back a little. Like, be cool.
He's
I'm
like,
just gonna.
I'm only acting as your bodyguard. I've been able to do this. Well, this is actually probably going to be the most normal bodyguarding I've ever had a chance to do in a while. So
Right.
Just
This is the
don't-
good old times.
chase her off, and besides,
No.
I'll be in your peripheral. Just do your thing.
And I can defend myself now if I need to, right? But anyway.
Yeah, actually.
So I'm gonna do that hard to do thing where you're trying to approach someone who's walking in front of you without creeping them out. But, like, you know, that
Level
awkward of like,
impossible.
I need to get up to even with you, but I'm not trying to freak you out, like I'm stalking you or anything like that.
Well, at this point, let's hear what the approach is. Like, she's got 2 of her friends with her at this point, and she's at the front end of this industrialized park. It's got some greenery and things in it, but there are multiple levels that stretch upward, and it looks like there's air. You can hear a lot of other people in here. So there's like the sounds of, like, you know, shrieks and things like that from younger kids that are kind of in that same area. There's even like adults sort of meandering down on the bottom part. There's areas where they're actually doing like street chalk and things. Like, it's crazy how many
Oh,
people
cool.
are here, but it's like this tiny little nook out of the middle of nowhere where just a bunch of people are hanging out. But
are they holding anything?
well, it appears that they, if there was anything that they were coming from in terms of like immediately from out of their school area, can't really tell, only because of the fact they don't have backpacks on or anything like that. But they have like their comms and their braces and the usual stuff. But they seem to be having a conversation. One of her friends seems to have a drink. She's kind of like pulling on a straw.
Okay, I was just hoping I could, like, you know, like, make them drop something and then like I pick it up and like, oh, is this yours? Like,
Well, I mean, they've got a few things that, like that drink in particular, could be something interesting, but
yeah, I don't want to like force pull a drink to my hand.
well, yeah, you could do something else, or I don't know. It's up to you. Let's see how Danny does. I want to see Danny's riz. Let's go for it.
Yeah, right.
What you got?
I was, I was just thinking like if I had something like in my hand or whatever, I could like drop and like chase after it
Roll for riz.
and go grab it. But
That should be a skill.
if they're not moving, then I'm just gonna, kind of like walk past them and try and listen in to what they're talking about, and then, act as if I'm on my phone or something like that, and like laughing about something.
Have you seen that guy who's on the phone, like next to people and recording himself?
Yes.
He says the most heinous things.
Yes.
Like they're funny and embarrassing to him.
And they're recording the people around them's reactions. Like,
yeah, because they're always
no, it was
listening.
my sister. No, it was like, yeah.
Yeah, that guy's got some freaking. He's got some freaking cojones, dude. I don't know if I could ever do the same thing. But anyways, yeah. So you're trying to listen in on their conversation. At the immediate moment, you've just got, they're just having this conversation about something at school. Apparently, they have a friend who's not present at the moment. They're trying to discern whether or not she basically skipped out, and we're trying to find out if it was with this particular kid. Looks like Devin is of particular interest as to whether or not, they're her name's, like, apparently the friend's name is Syrah, but Syrah doesn't know, they don't know if Syrah's going to be dating this guy Devin, but they assume that she basically dipped out so that she didn't have to deal with school or anything else like that with Devin, just kind of like stay out of it. They're thinking about that, then they're talking about movies and music. It just goes all over the social spectrum and it jumps hardcore. They even get into some like minor points where they're like shouting at some of the kids who are kind of running in and out or like getting into dumb matches. Just, like it's that whole what do you call
Yeah.
it? Child terror. It's I wish I could remember the exact terminology, but children are basically chaos unleashed always. And for whatever reason, the fact that they don't immediately die is somewhat of a profound thing, especially when they're in large groups. This happens to be a lot of that.
sister-in-law refers to children as noise with dirt on it.
Yeah. That's pretty good.
It's
I like
particularly appropriate for her sons. Okay, so our assignment from Glass was to
Act like yourself.
Well,
right,
to be
meet
yourself
them and
yeah.
be ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Do they mention any particular teacher's name or anything like that?
No, it doesn't look like that kind of
that he goes to
that
their
kind of
school or
conversation seems to
something.
have ebbed off. They're more interested in what's happening right now amongst certain other things. They do apparently seem to have a concert in mind that they were wanting to go to, and it looks like they're trying to make plans and figure out a way to manage that. Given the fact that all of them are roughly your age, they don't quite know how to get there without, making the request seem improbable, since there's likely going to be a huge no without some kind of chaperone involved.
Ooh,
yeah.
chaperone. There's your in.
Yeah. A strange boy and his bodyguard want to be our chaperone.
His funky bodyguard.
It's safe. It's perfectly safe.
Come into our vehicle. We have candy.
Oh, God.
And so Danny's wearing his he's got his, let me see if I can, he looks cool.
To you, right? Like your own.
No, he's got the fashion forward youth look.
Youth.
What's your magnetism stat? I'm curious. I don't remember.
Magnetism, it's a 4. My cool is a 7. My magnetism's a 4. And it's
Yeah,
because
so-
he's that like standoffish.
Well, if you want to get their attention in that sort of that way without like going too hard on it, you could make a cool essence check and see if you can pull off a little bit of like raw influence. See if that gets you anywhere.
Well, right, like I've got like appearance, like I've got those other things, and so I was
Right.
like, how do I just like
Wait, you're going to
Make-
that concert too?
make them want to talk? Well, what I was thinking is I could pretend to be on my phone and be like, well, what are we gonna do with those extra tickets? I don't care who you give them to, like, something. Because that's why I was asking about my money earlier.
Yeah.
If I have access to my money, because I
Well,
am
you
wealthy,
could have
that is one
heard
of my-
exactly which concert they're trying to go to. You could get those tickets on your own, and do that.
Right.
That's not a bad idea. Let's see here. Yeah,
That's why I was
you've
asking
got the
about money
cash.
earlier. is
You've
I
got
was
the
like,
cash for it. What kind of? Well, the other thing too is it's like how expensive do you want to go? Are you trying to get like best seats in the house kind of thing, or?
Oh yeah, like I don't go for crap.
Okay, so and how
I'm
many
wealthy,
tickets
right?
though?
So $2K a month. That's my
Mm-hmm. How many
allowance.
tickets?
Well,
How
I'll
many?
have 5 tickets. I'll have 3 extras.
Right, so you have 3
Right.
extra, so you're gonna buy 5 of them.
Stupid friends bailed. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that'll drop you about 1,200. Those concert tickets were expensive, apparently, but
Yeah, no problem. That drops me down to 7 grand. After buying all those smart bracelets for everybody.
Yeah.
everybody's got to have a fixer, man. You got to have a fixer.
Yeah, so I'm gonna do that, like, I don't know, loud enough talking that they hear me as I'm walking past, irritated, like,
Okay.
fine,
All right,
Malcolm, if you
so-
don't want to go to the concert, that's fine. I'll figure out how to get your tickets to someone else. Like,
Okay. Let's see here. So roll a deception, please. In this
All right.
case, because what you're trying to do is pull off the, like this is a genuine conversation type moment.
yeah.
And you heard the name of the concert, right? The people.
Yeah.
So you'd be saying the name, not.
Yeah.
the
Well,
concert.
what's funny is that it's the main singer is
Johnny Chrome.
no, it's
Arden?
his last name flew my head. His name's Ash Clay, and his band is Ash to Mouth.
Ashton out.
Oh my god.
I like that.
Ugh.
Give me a second. All right. Oh, I exploded. Okay.
So he's running mighty.
It's a bad anime. That's all this is becoming now.
Hey, Danny has big anime protagonist hair and outfit. So
right.
19 on my.
You pull off. Yeah, you
what I
definitely
was
pull off
doing.
the perception.
19
at
on
that
my
front.
deception.
Okay. And do you name drop the fucking band you're talking about?
Absolutely.
All right. So
Oh
now,
yeah.
Let's find out exactly.
Like Ashtamouth isn't in town all the time, idiot. So you're not going tonight. You're not going.
Make an awareness when you pass them by, because you're gonna try and monitor everything else.
23.
2319.
Okay, so you kind of eyeball things from the back end and that kind of stuff. You're just kind of keeping an eye on it. You do the rough hang up, that kind of thing, because he's like that, and as it
Yeah.
pops out, you know for a fact you've got all of these girls in their attention, but they are doing their best to kind of like to do the whole like eyeballing thing to the right. Yeah, it's that whole like looking off to the side or whatever, because they don't realize that. You know, even it's like, what are they gonna do? It's like some random stranger just happens by about the situation, and they're gonna be like, "Yo, bro, how about them tickets?" So it's
Whoa, bro.
Yeah, it's basically your move, your court at this point. But you do seem to have like that little sliver in there that's got their attention in the right way.
You gotta hit
piqued
them with
their
that. How you
interest.
doing?
Yeah.
How
No.
you doing?
So what I'm gonna do is pretend like I'm getting another call and be like,
Okay.
"Hey man, I got 3 extra tickets if you want them." You know, because that jerk's not going. Yeah, they're in the box seats or front row, whatever. I don't know what kids like.
It's
I
gonna
want
be up
box
front.
seats because I don't want to be near people.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
Box-
it's a box. It's up
box
in the
seats, no
front,
bueno.
down near the moth. It's in the pit.
So this
We get
one of her
free
friends
punches.
happens to be a little more street than the other two, than the girl herself or anything else. She just turns around because she's got like the nice, we're talking like the tight hairstyle that kind of goes in, with the spiky in the back. She's wearing the more loose kind of clothing on the outside with like, it's got that edge to it where it's the more
Bad
like,
anime. Go on.
well, it's got that edge to it in the sense that she's got like the overcoat that comes down to just at the waist level with like the top that kind of keeps things up and tight on the inside. I mean, she looks kind of punky, just a little bit, but not nearly as much as what you would say like inner city would actually be. But she turns around, she's
But
like,
just enough
"Hey!"
that
like
she'll
that,
be
and you
the
can
one
hear
of
her
the
friend.
three
Yeah, you can
who
hear
was
her
like,
friend.
"I'll do it."
Yeah, like her friend, like or it was your target in this case. It's like, no, what are you doing? Like it's just like, "Hey, what concert are you talking about?" Like she just comes right out and just hits you in the back of the head with that conversation.
Not for you, ladies. Ashtamouth, I don't think so.
She's just like, "Why not?" And like that, and just kind of starts walking in your direction. Of course, Emma's like, "Oh my god!" Like she's like trying to turn away, and then her friend next to her, because you don't know what her name is, but she's like, kind of like just general, like almost like urbanite. She's just like chuckling to herself and going like, "Oh my
Aggressive.
God." Huh?
Aggressive.
Well, yeah, the street girl is. He's just she's like comes right up to about maybe 5 feet from you. She's sort of like, "Maybe I got money."
Yeah, I don't need your money. I don't think this is the show for you, but if you want, I mean, you make
You
your
got
parents
extras or
mad
not?
and have fun at the same time.
She comes walking up real close, like uncomfortably close. That kind of like haughty confidence. I'm gonna like more or less. It comes across. This is actually where I'm gonna have you either like make an cool essence check to kind of like deflect, because this is a social situation that what she is literally
That's
trying
sweating.
to do is trying to push the power of boners directly on you to try and enforce this. Because she's coming up real close.
This is a boner check.
It's like, money, huh? Not a problem. She like pulls out a small credit stick. She's like, or a date, like that, and it's like,
All right, let me. Weapons. Is
Yeah,
it cool?
but-
The roll.
well, in this case, it's just the cool essence check. So let's see what you got.
Yeah.
She's gonna try. She's trying to stammer you, which is gonna be interesting whenever it comes down to it. She doesn't
Boner
realize that
jams,
she has to push
no.
this hard, which is the part that I find funny.
3 successes. Well, two exploding, but so I guess what? 2 successes.
Well, yeah, it's no. Oh yeah, 2 successes. You're correct.
Yeah, because one of the 10s is canceled out by a 1.
Yeah. Anyways, but yeah, I mean, you basically flatline, just stare her right in the eyeballs without shaking one bit, and you can actually see that she sort of folds inward psychologically just a little bit. This is where Danny's gonna go a little bit inside of himself and go like, wait, where did I become this sort of badass where I could just look this chick in the face and literally not care? Like, and it shows. Because she just kind of like...
he lost the age disadvantage, so he's 16 now, right? He's
Yeah.
like, he's
He knows
got a
everything.
chest hair. We're good. So Danny's gonna, like, on a smart brace, be like, tickets are covered. You can handle the drinks, and I'll just like show the tickets.
She's like
showing this.
she like stands back and does this like leans and she's like, really? And she's just like points at her friend side to herself. She's sort of like, we're going like that, and they freak out on the other side of things. Oh yeah.
And he'll go, Danny Blaze. It's okay if
She
you've
just
heard
like
me.
she just goes, what? Really? She like doesn't believe you.
Would you believe you?
No.
I do me.
Do you still are?
And somewhere on the other side of the city, Malcolm shivers.
Yeah. So yeah, you're just like, okay, you got drinks, and so this whole thing goes down. Well, they come up. It turns out, Emma is probably the mousiest of the 3, because you've got her friend whose name turns out to be it's Dina, but you've got Dina, who's this sort of urbanite kind of classic. She's wearing like all of the best that she can possibly manage with what she has. The perfect hair, it's all pushed back, get the little barrettes and all that, everything you could possibly expect for that. That's what she's got going on. You've got Street Girl here, and kid you not, as much as she scoffed at your name, she goes by Xena, refuses to give it any other name. And then you have Emma, who is in the mix of this, trying to kind of keep herself together.
Xena, and Emma.
Yeah.
That
Yep.
sounds like bad news. 16-year-old me would have crapped his pants. Climbed out the bathroom window.
Yeah, well, so they're all just kind of like trying to poke and prod about the new kid on the block, literally. Going like, where are you from? Why are you even here? What's the deal? How'd you end up with these tickets? All this stuff. And they just kind of like absorb it in. Now, of course, on your smart brace along with everything else, because I believe you actually have a monocle too, don't you? Like some other way to actually view your text messages discreetly, or no?
I don't think I do have monocle. I know you does.
Okay, well, either way, if you want to make one more awareness check while you're kind of mixing this around,
Yeah, I don't see monocle in my stuff.
that's fine. So, if you make just one quick observation, you catch Barnaby in the distance. When you look in his direction, and you've got these girls eating out of the palm of your hand, all he does is equivalent to that, but it's more like the
25
You know,
awareness.
it's that whole like, well, son of a bitch, he did it. Like, Yeah, you pick up on the innuendo. He's impressed. He's just sort of like, damn. Pulled it off. Good for him.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
then Danny's gonna like look at Barnaby and be like, you know,
Yeah.
we'll bring the jumper around.
It's like, oh, now we're showing off.
You're with me. It goes off.
While you guys are waiting for the jumper to come around, Emma, of course, is kind of keeping this like really careful eye on you. Like, so she's the most mousy of them all. She seems to actually kind of be. There's something going on with her, and not just socially, that's kind of like rolling around in your brain. She's very cautious, nervous about the situation, and it seems to kind of be becoming a little bit more intense as the time is starting to kind of float on by. It's whenever she takes a look behind her with no prompting, mind you. Like, what's weird is that you notice that she does this without actually having something happen to cause her attention to drift. But she turns around closer to her back, almost to her 5 o'clock. She just kind of whips her head around and like looks around. She's like, oh man. Like, that is this person. Looks like maybe some guy, maybe sometime around 16, 17, something like that, is starting to move on in. And he's deadlocked on the group with yourself. And like I said, the jumper will be coming in maybe about a minute and a half. And she's just like, come on, give me, like, she just looks over like, are you, and she's just kind of like, do you mind if we just go for like a walk or something? Like that she's trying to get away from this guy.
How subtly can I evoke?
Well, in this case, you can
I
make
know it's
a
gestures
stealth.
and
You can make a stealth skill check and see if you can just hide what you're trying to do and push it out by intent. There's 2 ways I'm going to basically manage this. The frickin' eyebrow, dude. Hold on, I have to. This is so wild, dude.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay. Well. Yeah, make a stealth check first. And then what I'll do is I'll basically say that we'll just bump your necessary threshold for casting the spell up by 1.
Okay.
Whatever it is you're attempting to do.
Stealth. Ooh, stealth is not great. The 6.
Not great.
15 on stealth.
Wow, nice.
It makes sense. It makes sense. I've done this spell a million times. I practice it when I'm bored. The good old snatch.
Yeah.
I just want to, like, pop the guy's brace off, or, tip the heel of his shoe or whatever to make him not be
Get
cool
wedgie.
prowling guy.
Well, you could also like do something to like befuddle him completely. Like you could use snatch to pull on his foot while he's like where it's the stride where his foot is lifted up off the ground. You could pull that,
Yeah.
which would take him off his weight eventually.
Yeah. That
you know,
feeling
as
where
well
you
as-
miss a step and you feel like you're gonna die.
Yeah, exactly that. So, yeah, with
Anyone who
same
went stairs
target,
knows
but
that feeling
threshold
well.
2 instead of 1. You should be able to pull that off.
Okay. 5D. And a snatch. He is 7. Oh, we don't have a command for threshold. I was like, wait, what do I type for threshold? There is no command for threshold.
Yeah, there's no threshold target that you can put in, unfortunately.
Yeah, there's just target, but not threshold.
Yeah. Target, explode, fail. These are the things that matter.
It application did not respond on me. Oh, this is twice.
Looks like it's trying to come through.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna 5d10. Okay, that is
Holy shit. Roll another d10.
Damn, dude.
No, roll D19.
okay. So
Oh
that's
my
6
God.
successes.
What?
It's the power of boners.
What? Holy crap! That's the strongest force pull I've ever seen in my life.
As the target cartwheels spontaneously in the air.
His
It's like a
foot just
video game glitch.
leaves
He
his
just starts
body.
going like that off in the distance. Well, it's actually it's both masterful and subtle. And I mean, the spell executes with barely a tremor in your thoughts. I mean, you're just basically like, whip. You feel the energetic pull on his foot, like you're in complete control of the situation. It's so very
like
odd.
I control his foot. I can just.
Yeah, you just basically go yoink, and it happens to be that it pulls right at the knee area, causing his hips to shift, which to everyone else looks like he just went from too cool for school to a Charlie Chaplin skit, as he goes fluttering off to the side and lands near, like hip first, then over a trash can, and like on the street nearby, absolutely douching on himself, and it's like everyone's bewildered. What you?
And Danny's just gonna like snort, like, all right, let's go.
So you're going to head off, and Barnaby's just watching the whole procession, and you can see he's trying to contain laughter at this point. It's one of those things where he doesn't know what the hell happened. He didn't even catch it. That roll was like ridiculous, super crit. Holy shit! That is some Ivar backtracking nonsense. Is what that is.
Yeah.
Right.
So he'd be
Well,
like, ladies, this is Barnaby. He's paid to make sure we're safe.
But you can see that, like, Emma gets to a point where she pulls to a full stop. She's looking at you in a very strange kind of way. You know she didn't see you. Like, the way your rolls went, absolutely 100% did not see you. But I want you to make a will essence check while she's looking right at you, though.
All right. Who knows? Maybe she senses something. Who knows?
The plot thickens.
Will
Dun, dun, dun.
7. Okay.
All right. You start to notice it. The fine threads of some other presence in your mind, and you can tell it's her. And you actually look over at Emma and realize that she's in there, kind of looking around. When you notice that she's in there, she goes pale, absolutely pale, realizing that you figured it out. And she starts to step back, stammering. She's just like, actually, guys, I gotta go. I want to go home. I'll see you later. And she, like, goes to start moving down the street at basically a very brisk pace. Her friends are like, come on, it's not like we were actually gonna get in the car. She's like, you have Xena trying to get Emma to cooperate at this point. She's like, can I get a number? Like,
well, if I sense her in there, do I have the wherewithal to think it's totally okay? I'm a friend.
well, I mean, you think that, but that's it kind of, like I said, she still ends up going pale because
Right.
you're putting together that nobody else knows that she's capable of doing this, and the fact that she's trying to split immediately after what just happened, it's like, and her friends have no freaking clue. And so, you've got Xena going like, what's your tags? I won't be able to call you. It's like, I still owe you drinks.
Yeah, so I'll give her my info.
All right. So you set that off.
Give her my,
and they
give
go
her my
heading up.
social tag.
Yeah. You have a social tag. Yep. You basically put whatever you want tag at the end, and that's basically how it works. Yeah. Social tag would be anything like phone numbers and things like that. But you got Barnaby walking up behind. He's like looking over the the knob, trying to get himself up off the street and stuff like that. He's like, what the hell happened?
I don't know. They seemed like they were into it, but that guy showed up, and then she's got something. I felt her rummaging around in my head a little. I don't know.
Serious?
Well, like, I don't think she's doing it on purpose. Like, she may not know yet. You remember when my first whole thing with the cards?
Yeah.
She needs a Brenner.
Well,
or she needs to get as far away from it as she can, considering how things have turned out.
He just kind of looks down at you, looks over the situation as they're walking away. Hey, Kiwi! As she's walking away with her friends and stuff like that, and looking back, you kind of get this feeling like, you know, she's kind of aware of what's going on. She doesn't seem to be... She's not at a run or a breakneck pace, because it's that whole trap of being like, I don't want to be running at a dead sprint, because that would be weird.
Right. You don't want to be seen running.
Right. Well, and her friends are kind of in a sort of low-key argument about, like, what are you doing? It's like we were so close to doing whatever, and, you know, it's almost like Xena's basically in her ear going, like, you better hope that he calls me with these tickets after that. You know, that kind of stuff.
Did she give me... Do I have a way of contacting her?
Well, yeah, because you gave her a social tag, so you'll just have to wait for them to call back.
So,
but you got Brenner, or not Brenner, but Barnaby, like, at your side. He's like, hey, listen, let's not push it any further. And besides, it would be a little weird if we just ran off with a bunch of kids anyways.
I'll send a message, say, I'll leave the tickets at will call for you.
Okay, so you just kind of leave that, you know, whenever it comes over. Because you just wait for it to, like, link up, and it actually shows. Kind of like a friend request.
Or whatever. They don't have will
Yeah.
call. I'll just send her the tickets.
Yeah. You just be like, whoop, like that. And, you know, it's one of those things where it's like you're kind of like playing your cards right. He's like, so she's got some kind of skill or talent, huh?
Yeah, there's something there. It's not like full, what is that, telepath? It's not like that, but she could maybe third eye sort of.
Well, I
whatever.
mean, that kind of explains the reason why we would be interested in her and why she would completely slip under radar. You know, he did say,
Well,
be
maybe
yourselves.
she's a-
What do you feel like
You know,
should
like
do
a
next?
drug sniffing dog. Maybe she's the person who will find the person who will do the bad thing. I mean, who
He
knows?
just shrugs his shoulders, just like, there's no way for me to know, no way for any of us to know. And,
I don't know
guess-
this stuff.
Yeah, he's just like, well, I mean, come on, Danny. It's like, what are your hormones
Be
telling you to do?
yourself.
Well, I was being myself.
He's like, but yeah, what do you want to do now? How do you want to follow this up?
Well, I mean, we could check out their concert. She might show up. Don't you need a night off?
When's the concert even happening?
Tonight.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
And he just kind of like, well, let me see. Well, like, he goes taking a look, and the rest of he's like, how'd you manage to get tickets tonight? And you know what? I'm not even gonna ask any questions.
Let's go. They might show up. Gives us a second chance. If not, we need the night off anyway.
Ash to mouth, like he just
Yeah,
is like,
you have been riding me so hard at
I have
this
not.
job thing. I don't know how you guys do it.
he just
Yeah,
like
dude,
shakes his head.
researching
He's
on
like, get in the
paper.
jumper, you fucking whippersnapper. Come on, let's go.
The thing that you used to wipe your ass with. He had me researching paper.
Yeah, I know. He like stuffs you in the car. It's like, and poor you. You had to write things down with pen and paper. I feel bad for you. Like that. It's like shuts the door.
From the before times.
Back in the late 1900s.
All right. So that is what an easy encounter looks like whenever you can literally magic your ass out of one.
Thanks, Crayley.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Apparently, Danny just, I rolled.
Yeah,
I rolled
you
nines and tens.
Ivar'd it.
He totally Ivar'd it completely.
I didn't
This
have
guy-
you guys around to, drag me down.
Oh.
Oh, damn. Party mutiny right now. Like, okay. So you guys are gonna go check out Zachary, or what was your move there, Malcolm and Hugh?
Yeah, we're gonna check out Zachary. Since Hugh wasn't the one that kind of did the investigation, and in fact, it was both Malcolm and Hugh didn't do the investigation. It was Danny back at the library that
Yeah.
learned about Zachary, right?
Yeah, well, and he was the one that found out that his history and everything about him was a little too squeaky clean, which is what was so offsetting.
Alright, Hugh. So, I got next to nothing on this individual. He's a little too, pristine before the saint's eyes, so to speak.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
What say you?
Well, let's go say hi to him. I mean, the worst they can say is no.
Honestly,
yourself.
The worst they can say is
I-
you.
I regret the words that I must utter at this time. Hugh, I need you.
So this time, he's the one that has the sparkle in his eye.
To-
It's like, let's go.
Be yourself.
Nothing else.
Yeah.
So, since he has the squeaky clean reputation, it's just easy to find him.
Well, I mean, because he's so squeaky clean, he's easier enough to find. He's actually part of the corporate district areas, and you can find him at, usual business on office hours. We're talking like hyper standard stuff. So, he's in a business complex, most likely, and from what you can tell, that business complex is frequent, and happens to be sort of centralized amongst a whole number of different throughways for corporations and things like that, which is kind of perfect if you're looking to be the kind of person who is consultant or liaison or something else. The weird part about him is that his career and work life are, well, not well understood. He goes by consultant, similar to you, but consultant of what? And it seems that his, well, the language is vague and sort of almost ethereal when it talks about it. It's like, you have these certain problems, come and see me, that kind of stuff. It's almost like a digital business card for the, I'm that guy that you come to when you need some very interesting things taken care of. Without saying so much.
Interesting. Okay.
On Hugh, what'd you find?
Well, let's go meet him. I mean, regardless of all this information, it's good to know. But like, best thing to do is just to be yourself, right?
Just be yourself, but try not to be burdensome.
All right.
So-
well, I mean, we're heading right there. That's
Okay.
the plan.
Yep, you head back. You basically head over to the Zenith business offices and plaza, and find his office. You find his office without much trouble. Zachary is younger, probably late 20s, maybe early 30s, just in his appearance, but you know for a fact that he's around age 31. He seems to be athletically fit. He wears suits, and he's personable from the sounds of things, based on all kinds of, your details and references. But because of the way that his background is set up, hard to know what's real and what isn't until you meet him in person. You come to his office building at the door 1101 and step inside, where there is a desk and a younger woman at the front desk who actually seems to be somewhat intriguing in her own right. She has a fair amount of cyberware all kind of invested into her. You can tell because her eyes are capable of doing a lot of different things. They look like they are multi-pupide, like inside of the actual iris. Like, looks like she has multiple irises that are kind of inside of the eye. She has that sort of look and feel of being very precise in her movements, the kind of thing you get when you're dealing with machinery, but without that hesitancy you get with like new prototypes. We're talking like could move very quickly and do very precise things, but it's unnatural looking.
Cool. Is there what else? How else does this is obviously like a reception, and then
Yes,
like,
you're in a small reception area. There's just an office in the back, bathroom for public, and a waiting area here to your left. And the desk just kind of comes out at a slight L, and she just looks up. She's like, good afternoon. Do we have an appointment or?
I want to take a glance around the office. and
It
see.
looks very normal. She's the only
Are
one
there
that
any
appears to
pamphlets?
be pretty interesting.
Is there any pamphlets?
No, it's pretty barren in here.
Shoot. All right.
Yeah. Malf, I'm gonna have to figure out how you just did that.
What?
How he managed to turn it around whenever he needs to turn his screen off. Because I don't know how to do it. But either way.
Oh, you just hit stop cam.
Well,
Yeah,
if I
stop
do that,
cam.
I disappear.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
That's
for me,
what
it
happened to
looks
me
like
last
that.
time.
Yeah, we just do stop cam.
Yeah, no,
We have the
boss
power.
can't do it.
I can't do it, Captain.
All right. So yeah, like I said, just kind of barren, very blasé. They even the pictures on the wall, which are those animated digital photographs, have like Motel 6 style scenes on them where they are not sterile but just sort of hyper generic, portraying beaches and arbitrary, very common things. Without
Brought to you by the new Microsoft company,
Oh,
Bing.
Jesus.
Yeah, I mean, Hugh will walk right up to the desk. He's like, Hugh, man, here. How you doing? And he reaches out to read the voice is a shaker.
She kind of just comes up over the top of the desk and shakes your hand. She's like, "A pleasure to meet you, but you're clearly a walk-in, yes?"
Oh, absolutely. I've heard about Zachary, and I wanted to meet with him, see what services he could offer.
She nods her head. She's like, "All right, I'll see if he has an availability." She
Excellent.
takes a seat, kind of does something like this, looks up for a moment, and you realize that her cyberware allows her to have a fully silent conversation in the reception area. With that,
Well, that's
she
useful.
basically is able to just speak through her cyberware without using any kind of vocal.
That's useful.
Yeah,
That's all.
yeah. She just basically sits back for a moment, which is like, "He'll actually see you. Looks like he's got some vacancies. Do you mind waiting for a few
Oh.
minutes?"
Excellent. Thank you. What was your name?
She's like, "Hold on." She just says like, "Irene."
Well, thank you, Irene. Did she lead us back, or like he's waiting for the prompt, like to?
You know, and Malcolm's just sitting there with, you know, like he's in body armor with like half his arm torn. Like there's no armor torn off. It's been torn off, blasted. He's got a shield on his back, a sword on his hip, dagger on his hip, and he's just leading him back,
You
going,
look like you're from a Ren fair. Like it's so.
"Yep." He's just sitting back, going, "All right, Hugh be Hugh."
Yep.
You know, you're
Whenever-
actually seeing what happens when you guys don't impede him.
Oh my god.
We're all gonna come into our own and realize we're better off separate.
Oh my god. Well, new game, I guess. Well, you can see Zachary comes out of his office at one point, and he goes, "Hugh."
Oh, yeah, Hugh, man. He gets up and is gonna go shake his hand, obviously.
Okay, he comes up, he shakes your hand. You actually feel the solidity of his grip. And we're talking like he's got a very... It's not firm in the sense that he's just strong. It's precise, just like his receptionist, but it's not cybernetically precise. But it is one of those things that, if you want to roll human perception, actually. Thank you.
That is not a good thing
Far
for me
more
to roll.
intense than I was intending.
That's super intense.
Yeah.
So
Let's go back to this.
I have the disadvantage of gullible, so I have a -4 on all human perception checks.
We're gonna give it a try anyway. Let's put this disadvantage to work.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
1d10. Let's see. Plus 10 minus 4. I rolled a 9 on the die, so that's pretty good.
You did.
So
So,
it's 15
technically
as
speaking,
usual.
you have, yeah. That's for 15. Wow, nice job, actually. So, hits that perfectly average mark, which is kind of what you needed. the you get something in the back of your head. You're like, this guy's military, or he's got some kind of governmental background that's obscured. Like, the immediate thought about his handshake and everything else, your investigative instincts start to pull this. He's got to have some kind of background that makes him dangerous for other reasons. But he comes across as just being genuinely courteous, despite all of that. He's like, you wanted to know what I have to offer in terms of services. How about we go to my office? He just looks over at Malcolm and is like, were you with Hugh?
Yep, he's my buddy.
So it's like,
I am his chaperone.
he's like, you're very much dressed to be such. Stand out. I like it. He like stands and is like, this way then. Would either of you care for coffee?
Oh, absolutely. I'm famished or parched.
And it's like, either one works. And he just
goes-
stepping inside.
He goes, thank you for the courtesy, but I must abstain.
He's like, fair enough. And he pours Hugh a cup of coffee when you get into the office, closes the door. You guys can hear there's just a faint pressure pop because you can tell that the office is like almost hermetically sealed, but it basically cuts out any sound from getting out of the office to anywhere else in the lobby.
In here, they can't hear you scream.
Pretty much, if you wanted to go ham, but in that case, this office is very nice. We're talking pristine, neat, not much on his desk. He has a computer screen which is slowly descending into the desk.
Oh, that's cool. You
as
mean
it comes
you mean
around.
like angled inwards, not
Yeah.
like it's actually descending right now.
Just... Yep. I have to say, I don't remember ever catching a referral for either of you, so I'm a little shocked as to why you're here.
Oh, well, I get all kinds of tips and tricks. I'm actually in probably a smaller trade than you. I was hoping you could help me find some information on one of my clients. Or not information on my clients, one of my jobs myself.
He's like,
He's going to use the job that he got from the other guy to like be his in.
well, I don't actually mind investigative work. It's actually something of the more temperate work that I could probably do. Do you have information that I could use as a starting point, perhaps? A budget that you would like to work with? What kind of information are we talking about?
Yeah, absolutely. And he takes out the tablet and just slides it over. It's like, your reputation preceded you. When I knew that I needed someone who could help me find something like this, your name came to the top of the list.
Did
And he's not even lying. He's like,
Yeah. No, he's not. He was learning how to use faultlessly honest in the appropriate way. I think faultlessly honest turns people into fae. Because they don't ever tell lies.
Ooh.
Aes Sedai.
Yeah,
right.
That's what I
that
want.
too. But the fae are
I like
technically
that. You were
can't
at
live
the
here.
top of my list.
Yep. It's the truth. Anyway.
Oh, I love bending it. Oh, but yeah, so he hands over. It's like, it just so happens that I got to see one of these things in action. My client was being tailed by an automaton, and it disappeared in faster than I've ever seen anything once we rebuffed its advances.
Malcolm kind of mutters under his breath and says, more to Wiley than I like.
He just kind of looks up to you, like Zachary kind of eyeballs you for a second, and then comes back to Hugh. You know, it's funny, I don't think I would have taken you for the kind to be able to, well, be around danger very much, but maybe I'm underestimating the circumstances. Either way,
danger
I'm
finds
actually
me.
somewhat familiar with this technological marvel that you're trying to point out. And your client apparently, well, you're delegating, I suppose. The information that you want is in reference to this technology.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes, the technology is not something I'm super versed in, so I was hoping that I was going to share, obviously, or pay you to help me, so I can help my client.
Well, this is top of the line stuff. Pretty intense, actually. What kind of a budget were you planning on working inside of?
What is my normal budget?
Well, I mean,
Or, like, what?
you can just throw at him what you have. I mean, it's kind of depends on what's going on, you know?
I think I
Out
wrote
of
this down.
Out of
I wrote a
curiosity,
standard fee. Yeah. What's that, Bill? Sorry.
just I had a thought. If Malcolm had a bank account,
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah,
You
like
mean
compounding interest.
pulling the Fry in Futurama that his crappy little account had millions of dollars
Yep.
in it by the time he woke up 3,000 years later?
just I'm saying, in theory, is that applicable?
You know,
If you can remember your PIN
since
number.
you asked with such a smiley face, let's just see what the DM dice have to say. Holy shit, they say fuck no. 99.
Oh, you
Oh,
got
wow.
hit with an overage, and it just kept going.
Oh, dirt poor.
You know those
Yeah, okay.
accounts where if you don't make a
You're
deposit,
critically in debt with the Vatican, which is why you get spritzed with holy water all the time. You just don't know.
oh, there you go.
Oh, there we go.
That's really
That's
funny.
why Father Finnegan does it. It's the Vatican's penance.
Yep.
Well, I had to try.
Can I do I guess, intelligence essence check?
Sure.
So here's what my thought. What I'm
Mhm.
wanting to know, or is like, what would be a figure that would not be A, insulting to Zachary, B, makes sense to him, and C, like, is within the realm of my possibility.
Yeah, an
Like, those are
intelligence
the three
essence
things
check
that,
would make sense for something like that. Go for it.
yeah. All right.
Did you get an advance from that guy?
No. I'm trusting. Like, I know that they're going to pay me, obviously.
Right, yeah.
Let's see here. My intelligence is a 9, so it's 90-10. 90-10. Fail 1, explode 10. So, what my target was, my target 7 or threshold
8.
8.
Target is
Okay,
8.
so I got
It's always 8 unless I specify otherwise.
I got 3 successes.
Yeah, no failures. So
Nice.
no, you have a lot. No, yeah, I see why you're talking about 7. Yeah, so 3 successes indeed. All right. So, yeah, I mean, you're just kind of contemplating for a minute. The price line that he'd be looking for is probably a starting point of 7,500, because he is high rise,
Okay.
and that's kind of a beginning point. But the technology that he was talking about, this new tech that you're trying to get a beat on, if it's top of the line like he was talking about, starting with a higher baseline down payment is going to be your best shot. 7,500 or higher is going to be you wouldn't want to push higher than like 12,000 on a gesture like this, because that would seem desperate.
Right. So the unfortunate part is I don't have enough money. So,
Well, you're not the only person in this, and you know what's at stake, so it depends on how you look at the situation, right? You could be like, well, I know people who have this cash, right?
well, and I don't even have to say that. So I could just say the truth, which is, so okay. Zooming back, all this was in my mind palace. What was Zachary's question, so I can answer it properly?
Well, he's asked you what your budget was, what you were planning on trying to invest in order to get this information.
Invest with Zachary, yeah. It's like, yeah, that's a good question. I'm thinking, given what you've just said, I would say a fair amount to start with would be 7,500 credits.
He's like, all right, that would definitely make most sense. And he's like, looks down at the slate once again, comes back to you. This system is not merely, thrust-based or anything else. It's operating on a totally different line of, well, nearly science fiction. You know how jumpers work, right? The fact that they use, like, magnetic lift and so on?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, this basically employs a similar concept. The problem with mag drives is that it's pretty hard on organic matter. But you attach it to something like a drone or some kind of rig that can enact what you need, it can move extremely fast in very short bursts. And that kind of thing is worth a lot, especially in a
Malcolm.
combat situation.
Malcolm kind of mutters and says, that certainly makes sense.
Well, the other thing too is that smaller obstructions don't even stand a chance against you because the field that surrounds you in the midst of the deployment acts as a barrier, meaning you could run directly into a hail of bullets and have them ricochet right off. The system's temperamental, though, from what I understand. You can only get so many executions in one go. You might actually even fry out the system, but these are all just high-level details, and I'm deadly certain that you're probably aware of that kind of information already. He just kind of shakes the slate, given the fact that what's here is pretty, well, it's pretty involved, but it doesn't have what you're looking for, so I could fill in the blanks for 7,500 as a starting point.
Excellent. I knew you were the right man for the job, Zachary, and I would not have been able to find that as quickly. So very helpful. What's the best way to pay you?
Well, he slides this card along, and it has this really ornate fractal design around the outer edge. He's like, just scan that with your smart brace. We'll talk about down payment, and I can get to work right away then.
So he checks his smart brace and was like, I'm going to need to get a down payment because my money is in a different place right now. Or the money. The phrase he would use is, the money you need is in a different place right now.
And
Not his money.
Malcolm just kind of moves forward and whispers in Hugh's ear. It says, I think this is the time to communicate with Donning's mother.
Yeah.
Now.
So he says,
later.
Can you excuse me for a second? I just need to make a call to get that money.
He just waves his hand. He's like, be my guest.
Thank you.
You could just ask Danny.
Yeah, and then Malcolm just stands there after he does that.
Right. While Hugh was going in the back having an interesting conversation with Estelle, he can see Zachary sizing you up. He's like, do you want a chair or something?
Oh, that is a due courtesy. I thank you for the notion. I will do. Thank you. And he takes a chair.
He's just like, well, now you're at least not standing ominously in the back part of my office. What exactly, if I may ask, why exactly is it that you're dressed up the way you are?
I have a certain set of skills.
I am a man of certain trades. And Hugh, Mr. Man, is a man of certain persuasions. As such, I stand as a sword and a shield. Non-ironically.
So you mean to say you actually use those things?
Aye.
He just leans back in his chair. You kind of expected maybe laughter or some kind of jibe, but he leans back and he just kind of takes you in for a minute. He's like, well, I would have to say that you're probably the most interesting bodyguard I've ever seen. But if you're effective, you're effective. The call happens to go well, and you're funneled a fair amount of cash. A lump sum of more or less 10,000 on hand, just to kind of do with what you need, importing, with some overage to help you out.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And as Hugh kind of walks in, Malcolm kind of leans back as, I tend to like Mr. Zachary. Maybe you should go over a small amount as a courtesy.
All right. So he's going to put in 8,000.
Okay. 500 credit bonus, no problem. He just looks down. So again, you just scan his card. It comes immediately into your file system. You actually have all of his business contact information, including ways to send credits discreetly. It looks like it has an encrypted channel just for that. You funnel the cash. You can see that he finds something, indicates, you don't see on what, like either an earpiece or maybe an implant, you don't know. But he just leans to the side for a minute, just nods his head. He's like, "Excellent. I'll get to work then."
All right, pleasure doing business with you, Zachary.
Oh, well, we've just barely begun, and I have a feeling this is probably going to be a lot more interesting than usual, at least for me, given the present company. He just kind of nods his head. He's like, "I'll get to work, and I'll inform you as soon as I find anything of note."
Thank you. Have a good day.
Malcolm just nods and walks out.
When you step outside, you have Irene standing there at her desk. She's just like, "Please remember, gentlemen, that with the scanned business card, you have access to a what the hell's it called? To a backline that will allow you immediate access to him by proxy if you have any immediate questions, of course."
Thank you.
She nods her head. "I hope you all have a great afternoon." She takes a seat and goes back to her work.
That was easy. He didn't say that. Like, he said that after they leave, so that obviously.
Did he though?
Yeah, Malcolm.
He wouldn't try insulting.
Malcolm
Miss
looks
Irene.
at him. Malcolm looks at Hugh and says, like, "He's a curious character. I think you should lean into who you are."
Yeah. Check your Venmo. I like that it's $1.
Yeah, he's just like, whoop, like. Oh my! I love God, what the hell's his name from Supernatural? Because he was like one of my favorite characters from that show.
Castiel.
Castiel, yep. He was both comic relief and really serious. All right, so you guys leave the office successful. Where do you eventually meet up with your two other partners?
Danny was texting you.
Yeah.
Back home, yeah.
Yeah. So you're getting text messages from Danny at this point once you've concluded on all this, because they would have around a similar time, probably after your meeting, all things considered, but not by much. So it's getting into the evening, which is far more comfortable for Malcolm, to say the least, where you don't have to sit there and have yourself covered up so bad. Yeah, I mean, you're just out maneuvering yourselves, and you go back to the safe house, I guess, or somewhere else.
Danny's going to the concert.
Oh, that's right.
But it's not time for the concert yet. That's going to start around 11.
Oh, well, then let's meet at the diner. That's in town.
Neutral ground.
Yeah.
Neutral.
Well, he had good coffee and want to have some
at the diner, like, Malcolm just kind of says, and it's like, "All right, so we've tentatively had points of contact." That's the phrase, right? Points of contact.
Yep, we met with Zachary.
Hey, I'm learning. What do we do about Miss Del Rosa?
Barnaby just shakes his head. It's like, I have the faintest idea, other than the fact that what Danny's idea was is probably about the closest thing there is.
What was his
To
idea?
me, she stands as the most dangerous point in encounter we have faced.
Yeah, but
And
we're
I
just
am,
supposed to be
and I am
ourselves.
not, and I am not willing to place Donnie in that jeopardy. And frankly, I don't think you. Well, no offense, Hugh.
All right, we each got one. Are you saying that she's yours?
He just closes his eye and goes, "Aye."
Do you want some tips?
Barnaby just looks over at you. He's like, "What in the world could you possibly?"
I have given
three
you all
for a
my
date
vast
today.
knowledge on how to woo your betrothed, and you have failed miserably in that regard.
No.
I do not need advice from
She's
a wee
free now.
little git who is barely out the tickle of his daddy's balls.
Jesus.
Well, he's just like, Barnaby's just like, All right. Well, in manhood, you just got associated with what happens prior to conception. Congratulations. What? Okay, wait. It's like, don't forget. Well, like he just looks over to Dan and says, "Don't forget, we've actually got a way in. We just have to exercise ourselves very carefully."
Aye. And unfortunately, as regrettable as Donnie's sentiment is, he may be correct. Well, what
Well,
I
it's,
my
it's
death.
funny enough, but if
Yeah.
you actually recall, we let her know that Mr. Glass pointed us in her direction, and she'll be kind of forced into a meeting with us. And I would say, more than anything else, I'd rather not keep splitting things up because, well, efficacy aside, I think that as far as backup is concerned, I know for a fact Brenner or Estelle would probably come running to our aid whenever necessary if it turns down to that point. But, you know, I'd have to say that my gut feeling is that we should probably just go knock on her front door, pull a Hugh man, and tell her that we've been told to go have a conversation, because I'm pretty sure she'll be just as curious about all of that as we are.
Oh yeah. If we mention Mr. Glass, that might
was his
trigger
idea.
some thought.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Well, let's do that.
Now the question is, where do we find her front door?
Well, first, you have to knock.
Well, no, you have to find the door before you can knock.
Donnie? He looks at Danny. Says, "Can you be an intrusive and obnoxious whelp on your..."
Well, actually, you see, Barnaby says, like, actually, I have another idea.
Well, that sounds infinitely more reasonable than my choice.
Nah, you're probably not going to like it. And he just looks over at Danny. He's like, okay, this is probably going to be the first and likely the last time I ever make a suggestion like this if you screw around. But instead of using your thingy, how about we actually use your other talent to find a front door this time? And the only reason why I'm suggesting it, because he's looking over there, the only reason why I'm suggesting it is because I just have a feeling that digging too hard on the digital side of things is gonna yield some weird results. So I'd rather avoid that if at all possible.
Yeah. I like those kinds of doors.
You just see Malcolm just do that.
It just like Barnaby just turns over to you. It's like, yep, I'm getting 2 slices of pie because I'm either gonna wake up with a tail or be dead. And it's like, 2 slices over here, please. Like,
And Malcolm goes, 2 fingers, whiskey.
Normally, normally you ask for 2 fingers like this.
He goes, and basically he's requesting 2 shots because
yeah.
he's going to pie. And Malcolm's like, no, you need this.
Everybody loves whiskey and pie.
So, 2 slices of pie and a glass of whiskey, and Malcolm just kind of like pours a little bit of drops of blood in the whiskey and, ching ching, and goes,
yep.
By God's grace.
Yeah, they both tip back. All right, he's like, so, why don't we go ahead and use the one and only place I know of that only we have access to as a starting point. He kind of like does this, I'm exaggerating, but he just does this like, Danny, like that, as you guys finish up everything at the diner, and recommends that you head back to the library, which also seems to have, a courtyard and a few other things, and who knows how it might be able to be used in a safe way, since it doesn't sit in, the typical grid.
Yeah, we're halfway there to wherever we're going.
Yeah, you're already
Whoa, we're halfway there. Whoa!
Oh!
Malcolm's
Gonna pray you.
You guys are in my head. That's not fair. I can't leave.
It's my favorite song to play on Guitar Hero because it's like the first song you play, and it's the one I'm best at, and it gets good whammy bar
Oh my god. Like
with
whammy
that
bars
Richie
are always-
Sambora, like.
Yeah. Whoa,
I love that
whoa,
whammy
whoa.
bar.
Yeah. Oh, Bon Jovi.
I used Bon Jovi in a discussion earlier today about how to trick students who are trying to use AI to write their essays. So it's kind of funny that it came up naturally.
That's just how it works.
Well,
You just put in white text after the prompt, something about Bon Jovi, and then when the kid just copies the whole thing and pastes it into AI, it'll recognize the other text and it'll be like, the Civil War was a turning point in America's history when Bon Jovi came down to sing Living on a Prayer. Like, it will make a totally horrible essay. But if you're not paying attention, you'll out yourself.
nice. Well done. Caught you with your AI plagiarism.
Well, Drew has to deal with it, so.
Yeah.
Um,
It
all
may
right.
be prudent, not necessarily that I want to stop here, but things are going to get very interesting, and 13 minutes is not nearly enough time to really jump into that. So I'm thinking that we should probably put a soft stop here and move into next Thursday when we have the opportunity to, and get rocking and rolling right away.
That sounds good.
well, yeah, I'm around next Thursday.
I kind of actually feel that. I feel that story narrative hitting. So yeah.
Yeah, it's probably a good idea that we actually just go, let's zip it up here, and then get things going on Thursday when we have enough time to really get through it. Because things are about ready to get interesting, and I'd rather just not have to force feed it. But,
Yeah,
Just hope
you know,
we
like
can beat Heat next
like
week.
a bunch of teenagers going, "Who's this Ren Fair freak?" I'm to make sure that you're not gonna get into trouble.
and then they're
Try
like,
to be
what is that
responsible.
accent? Like,
He's from Southie.
he's from Southie. Oh man.
Yes, south of Edinburgh. What is your point?
Many planets have a north, right?
Oh my god. Ugh, too good. Well, on that note, I will bid everyone adieu, and our adoring audience, thank you for showing up. We'll be back here on next Thursday to see exactly where this goes, and we'll take it from there. So, everybody have a good evening.
Thanks for the encounter, Grayley.
Yes, indeed. That was very good.
Yeah, really.
And thanks for Danny literally just slapping the shit out of that thing, so it was nothing. We went from easy to who gives a shit. So,
Well, it was appropriate easy then.
yes,
Like
yes it was. Yep,
for
totally fucking found that one out.
46, 48 sessions.
Yep. All right then. We'll see you next Thursday. Holla.